Hello, fellow travelers. It's Max here. Once again, coming to you with a top of the story arc spiel. First of all, I want to thank all of you again for tuning in and listening. As of this point for the year, we've crossed 20,000 listens, which is absolutely insane to me, and we can't thank you guys enough. Second, this is a reminder that we do have a coffee page now, so if you want to support our efforts to bring you a better sounding show, the link is in our show notes, and it is ko-fi.com/9mm retirement radio. Next, on the back of that, I want to give a big, huge fucking shout out to Sam, the handler and creator of fellow Delta Green podcast Hand on the Door. Within the last month, Sam generously donated some unused recording equipment to Jan for nothing in return. The effects of this, of course, won't be noticeable until later next year, but it's worth mentioning now. Sam is a good man, y'all, and I would be remiss if I didn't plug his show. Hand on the Door, it blends horror and comedy in equal measure, but when the horror hits, holy shit, it hits hard. They're doing an original campaign set in the late 90s in New Mexico that is bizarre and strange in equal measures. Sam, Maisie, Aubrey, and Jimmy are all great people making a fun show, so go fucking check them out. And finally, Bullet Brain hopes you're prepared for what we have in store coming up this year. And with all that being said, it's now time for Operation Capital Gains.
Thanks for meeting in person, George. We have a situation.
Yeah, when you said you needed to meet ASAP, I assumed the worst.
That's understandable given the arrangement that we have. An important friendly missed the reported check-in this morning. Like clockwork, they call me at 5:30 a.m. every 2 days. This morning, well, they missed that window.
Who's the friendly?
Dr. Laura Clark. She's an associate professor at Harvard. Studies old European languages.
Now it makes sense. What's your connection to her, if you don't mind me asking?
She used to work for me at the Library of Congress before chasing down bigger fish in the academic pool. She overheard a conversation she shouldn't have. No, through no fault of her own, and, well, that's how she came to Moonlight for us. That woman is tenacious.
I see. So do you think something's happened to her? Could she have overslept, just not made it to a phone?
No. She never once missed any of her check-ins. She is the definition of reliable, and she is invaluable to what we do.
Understood. I can assign Sierra and Anthony and get them...
Actually, George, let's get the Kansas team on this one.
Is this coming from Fairfield?
It is coming from Reggie, yes.
He is aware of the ongoing investigation into Dr. Kimball, right?
He is.
And what about Mr. Vittorio?
Well, from what Mr. Milhouse's watchers have told me, he seems to be operating perfectly fine in his daily life.
Interesting.
Reg was skeptical of us deploying to bigger groups, but, well, after the recent successes of the Kansas team, with minimal casualties, he's become sold on the idea.
Which is good, but you know I have reservations regarding Mr. Vittorio's mental state, and, for that matter, Dr. Macallan's.
Yes, you've made that very clear. But you and I both know how thin we're stretched, and this war we're fighting, it's never going to let up. We have to use every resource at our disposal. Now, that being said, reach out to your network and see who you can pull in for this job. I also have an asset in mind that you can use. They recently returned from overseas and should be able to balance the scales.
Actually, I know just the person to call.
It's December 1st, 1989, in East Berlin, more specifically the borough of Friedrichshain. And It is a blistering cold -3 degrees Celsius. Matthew Reed, you are currently walking up the sidewalk, and you could see at the other end of this sidewalk, you can see your partner in this endeavor with the CIA, Norman Hoth. There is a flesh-colored earwig in your right ear, and you can hear the occasional sounds of your compatriot from the NSA, Marcus Smalls, as well as the voice of Norman's compatriot, Helen Ashcroft. It is a tumultuous period of time right now. The Berlin Wall came down a month earlier. There's talk of reunification of Berlin and Germany as a whole that are rumbling throughout the NSA and the CIA for their part. Right now, currently, as part of the Romeo Task Force, a specialized task force out of the American Embassy, a joint effort between the CIA and the NSA, you are currently in the process of going to this particular location to retrieve listening devices that you had installed. And so far, as you approach from your end of the street, hands in your pockets, the collar pulled up, it's quite cold, but it's something that he's probably used to at this point.
Yeah, he's been operating in East Berlin for quite some time now. Reedus is currently wearing a beige sweater. Over that, he has a quite a thick raincoat, almost like a trench coat, and probably just some gray linen pants. It's not the comfiest, but blends in nicely with it.
Yeah, and for Norman Hoff's part, you can see him basically at the other end of the street. He's a little bit older than you. He's in his mid-40s. He's got really close cropped, almost fully shaved head of hair, but you know that it's blonde. And he's got blue eyes, pale skin, and he's wearing, for his part, a black trench coat, some gray slacks, and a black turtleneck. And he is approaching from the other end of the street. And your target location is an apartment building in the middle of this street where you need to retrieve listening devices from. It has been a location in the past that, through the joint efforts of the CIA and the NSA, you all determined that Russian spies or Stasi spies had made their way through as like a stopping point on their way through to the western part of Berlin. And the plan, as had been determined, is that you would approach the apartment building, stand outside, and wait until Norman goes in first. Since Norman is your counterpart that would be dealing with any interference, you're the person who deals with the actual electronics themselves. So you slow your pace a little bit as Norman reaches the apartment block, and you see him go inside. And you lean yourself up against the building. And I want you to give me an alertness roll, please.
Mm-hmm. As always, to fit in, Reed is currently pulling out a cigarette out of his pocket and lights it up.
I didn't want to assume. Oof.
He is absolutely smoking. Yeah, whatever is going on, he doesn't notice it with a 95 over 15 alertness.
That's okay. Your eyes scan up and down either side of the street. Nothing really seems to be out of the ordinary. You haven't necessarily had run-ins with the Stasi, but you do know that they are active. It doesn't surprise you that they have been active, especially in the tail end of their reign, I guess you could say, their rule. You do know that there have been reports of some Stasi agents in their last-ditch efforts to disappear people. They've been doing that a little bit more in the end days here, knowing that their time is rapidly coming to an end. Because, you know, these people may eventually face some sort of justice for what they've done. But no, you burn down the cigarette, and then you finally go inside of the building where Norman is waiting. And this is on the second floor, by the way, of this apartment block. You walk up the stairs. Let's say you still have your hands in your pocket. You know that the identification that you're carrying says that your name is Emil Meissner, a citizen of Eastern Berlin. You have that identification in one of your trench coat pockets. In the other one that you have as a last resort, you have a unattached suppressor and a Heckler & Koch P7 pistol. Perfect size for the pocket that you have it in. 9mm pistol. And you approach the top of the stairs, and you don't have to like go around the stairwell. You have to, it's basically like straight ahead near the back. And Norman is standing there waiting, and he says to you quietly in German, "You see anything out front?"
Reed just shakes his head. No, nothing. He answers in German.
Okay, do your thing. And he turns his back to you and watches the hallway, and you pull out a little lock-picking kit. Go ahead and give me a roll, my friend. Oh,
Yeah, critical success!
hell yeah.
With the utmost precision and with very calm and steady hands. And a 22 under 80.
Takes you about 10 seconds.
Yeah, Reed easily picks the lock.
Norman slightly turns his head when he hears the tumblers fall into place. Doesn't say anything, but then you can see that he looks back towards the hallway, and he says quietly in German, "Let's be quick, let's be fast, all right?"
We go in, we retrieve, we go out. Simple as that.
You know exactly where you had placed these listening devices.
After picking the lock, Reed puts his gloves back on, because with them on, it's hard to feel everything while picking the lock. So he always takes them off for that. And yeah, once he's done, he puts his gloves back on, and just to be safe, screws the suppressor onto the pistol.
Okay, yeah. So you open the door, carefully move in. You swing from left to right, not in any sort of crazy flourish, but just, a smooth practice movement. Basically just scanning the whole room, taking everything in as you move your body in one location to another. You move throughout the room. The windows here, the blinds are pulled over them, so you don't have to worry about anything from in there. A faint voice, the voice of Helen Ashcroft, comes over in your earpiece and says, "How are we doing so far?" She says this in English.
So far, nothing stood in our way. We're moving as planned, currently wonderfully on the timetable.
Okay. Marcus doesn't have anything else yet that he's picking up, but just be quick, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, so at this point, you've determined the apartment is clear. What do you do with the pistol? Do you put it away? Do you unscrew the suppressor? Do you still hold on to it? What do you do with that?
The suppressor stays on. You never know when you get visitors. So, yep, suppressor stays on, but the pistol vanishes into the deep pockets of the trench coat.
It's a little bit bulkier than it had been, just because the butt of the pistol sticks out a little bit out of the trench coat, but it's still easily grabbable and it's not that much of a hindrance. You begin your work. You begin by going over to the telephone, start to remove the bottom portion of the receiver, knowing exactly where you had planted it almost a year ago at this point, actually. You remove it, put the telephone back together, put the bug back in your pocket. You then move to the electrical socket that is over by the kitchen. This telephone was kind of near the front of the apartment. And you take out a screwdriver and carefully start to remove the little socket panel. And at that point, you're able to remove the bug that had been attached to the wires that were in here. And then you get another message over your earpiece, and this time it's from Marcus, and he says,
Hold on. I think I'm picking up something. Not in the apartment, but it's a different frequency. It's close by. Are you sure you didn't see anybody watching you coming in?
No, negative. Didn't see anyone.
And Norman, for his part, also says, negative. Also saw nobody. And Marcus says,
All right. Matthew, be quick.
Yeah, currently on it. Already retrieved 2. Going for the next one.
There's no reply back. You then move to another electrical socket, this time in the bathroom. And same process as before, you take the screwdriver to it, you undo it, deftly retrieve it, place that in your pocket. Then you move on to the shower head, and you begin to remove the shower head, just enough to reach in and pull the bug out that was inside of there. You don't completely disassemble it because you're not a plumber. And if you didn't do it just exactly right, it would fuck everything up.
Yeah, only doing what's necessary.
Yeah.
No wasted movement, shit like that.
Yeah, and you had only placed 4 bugs in the room simply because the way you do your business, the way you move about planting these devices, only in the most highly trafficked areas where you guys know, like you've had to come in a few times when a subject had been away and moved some of the bugs around to locations that may be slightly better depending on who may be staying there at the time. That has only ever happened maybe once or twice within the last year. Otherwise, the spots you had just retrieved them from have been consistently good. And you're good at what you do. This is like child's play to Reed at this point. There's only the 4 bugs. So you basically retrieved all of them at this point. This basically took you about 10 minutes.
Very nice.
So now what?
He'll just quietly say, anything else from that signal, Marcus?
1 second. It's still there. Attuning it.
Where exactly?
Hard to... It's stronger. It's hard to say, but it is in your guys' area.
He says. And you can hear indistinctly Helen say something, and then she more clearly says,
Yeah, I can confirm what I'm seeing. Webfilm, you have a signal somewhere in your area. Maybe somebody is watching, or listening, or waiting. I don't know. Just be careful, okay?
and Norman comes over the earpiece and says,
Well, be careful.
Well, be careful. We're done. Gotta move out.
Nobody says anything else. Do you head back out?
So, we know this building already since for quite a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of those buildings where they have a backyard which is connected to other ones?
I want to say in this case, no. This is one of those cases where there isn't an adjoining back door that goes out. It's only the front door. However, on the level that you guys are on, like if you were to leave and go back outside, when I say outside, like into the apartment hallway, there is a window that overlooks the street that you had been walking up earlier if you wanted to look out there again.
Yeah, I think that's an okay call, trying to stay close to, or as close to the wall as Reed can get. He wants to peek outside without, like, exposing.
Okay.
Well, with exposing minimal of his body.
Okay. So you walk out of the apartment, making sure to lock it on the way out. Like it's like a little push lock knob. You click that with your thumb on the way out, check the door to make sure that it's actually locked and secure. And without saying anything, you walk over to the window and Norman follows your lead. And he gets up on one side of the window. He gets on the left side, which leaves you to go up on the right side. I would like you to give me an alertness roll of plus 20%, please, now that you are aware that there is someone out there.
In fact, take that plus 20. Yeah, easy, even without it. 29 under, now 70.
Ooh, excellent. Okay.
Oh, wait, I can skill my locksmithing because I crit?
Oh yes,
I rolled
you
a
can
crit on my
skill.
locksmith.
You can skill your
That's
locksmithing.
insane. Yeah, that's a plus 3 to my 80 locksmithing.
You're welcome.
Hell yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. Good point. Thank you for reminding me. Yeah. So yeah,
Almost forgot myself.
and
Yeah.
your alertness is a 29 under 50, 70 in this case.
Yep.
Excellent. So you post up on the right side of the window. Norman posts up on the left side, and you scan the street again in a car. So you see this greenish, brownish Skoda that's sitting on the opposite side of the road. I mean, you had seen it earlier, and there was a gentleman sitting in that car, but you didn't really pay him much mind. You were just smoking your cigarette, probably a little too into smoking your cigarette to calm your nerves right before you're about to do something illegal. But now, revisiting the scene, the man sitting in this vehicle, you see that he is sitting there, and you can see that there is a black leather bag with a strap sitting on the passenger seat. And just pretend that you see the bag in this. I'm going to show you a picture of that. You've seen a similar type of bag before be used in your line of work to hold certain types of devices. I want you to give me 2 rolls. I want you to give me an N times 5 roll and then a luck roll.
Okay. Ugh. For his N, that is a 90 over 55.
Okay.
And that's a 10 under 50 for luck.
Okay.
Damn, my luck's been shit today. It's jumping from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, it really has.
It's either like sub 30 or it's above 90?
Yeah, so the bag, you know that the bag, it's such a specific type of bag that you've seen either the opposition use or you yourself have used, but who knows what could be hiding inside of it is the thing. The other thing that sticks out to you the most, though, is that you actually recognize the man sitting in the vehicle, and the only way you would know that is the one particular time when you were sitting at your desk back at the embassy looking through files of known Stasi agents. And this one's name is Bruno Adelstein. And you're kind of kicking yourself for not having seen him earlier before going into the building. Otherwise, you likely would have terminated this run. And Norman says to you, "Do you see anything?" In German, he says, "Do you see anything?"
Reed answers in German too, just like really quietly, and just curses like Scheiße. Yeah. Known Stasi. Is one of those black bags. Potentially you to listen in.
Let me do a roll real quick. Whew, okay. He says to you, "Ever heard of Project Volke?"
Bits and pieces, yeah.
So you know that the Stasi have been using isotopes to potentially track people, right? Like they could either put it on their clothes or put it on the floor of a location. And he looks back at the apartment when he says that. Scheisse. We need to go now. Change your shoes.
No. We don't change them right now. Wait before we get out of sight.
Right.
Would be way weirder if we walk out barefoot, not just wearing socks.
Good point. He's gonna briefly tap his ear and says, "Hey, change of plans. I'm gonna go to the left. Reed's gonna go to the right. Same meetup though. I'll get with you guys. You guys pick him up at the other end of the street, okay?" And Marcus is saying,
What, do you have something?
Norman says, "Yeah, Stasi."
Shit.
Helen says on the other end.
Okay, be careful. We'll be ready.
And Norman nods at you and begins to move down the stairs back towards the entrance to the apartment block.
Reed will actually stay at the window, waiting to see if the Stasi dude follows.
And you see that Norman exits out the building and makes a left and goes the way that you were supposed to go as part of the original plan. Like, you had come from that way, now he's going that way, and you're going to be going the other way. So he moves, you watch, and 1 second. Norman gets about halfway down the block, and you see the Skoda start its engine up and drive down in that direction.
Yeah, I instantly relay this through my earpiece. Norman's being followed. Same car, same Stasi. I'm gonna head out now.
So you head downstairs and you exit this apartment block, and as you're about to turn right, you crane your head to the left, and you can see Norman disappear in an alleyway. So he's following protocol in this particular case. He doesn't run, but he's just smoothly, naturally makes a left-hand turn and goes down an alleyway and disappears out of sight. And you make a right and walk down the sidewalk. The Stasi agent is not paying attention to you.
Yeah, the moment Reed turns the first corner, he just, without touching his shoes, just like, stomping on the back of the shoe to just get out of there, gets out of those shoes and starts walking only socks. Which is a bit insane because, first of all,
it's cold as fuck.
It's freezing cold, yeah, but
gotta do what you gotta do.
He just leaves the shoes there.
Yeah, do you leave them on the sidewalk? Do you throw them in a trash can? Like, what do you do with them?
No, throwing them in a trash can means picking them up and possibly getting it onto
Do you still have
hands.
your gloves on?
So then it would be on my gloves, and I don't want to lose my gloves. They're cool leather gloves.
Oh my god, okay. I was gonna say,
So
they were
maybe-
like disposable,
maybe like he turns the right corner, and the first little ditch between two houses or something that he sees, then continues on.
Yeah, and as you continue on, a gray panel van that you are quite familiar with, as this is the panel van that Helen and Marcus were operating out of, and the vehicle that you had originally exited from, pulls around the corner and it stops on your side. It's odd because it's on the wrong side of the road, but you see it, the door opens, you hop in, and as you hop in, from around the corner you can see the Skoda emerging. And you expertly just open the door, hop inside. Inside there is Norman. Marcus is in the driver's seat, Helen's in the back.
Yeah, I wanted to, like, when hopping in there, like, quite fast, he just points to the Skoda and it's like, watch out for that one.
And on that particular note, you watch out the front windshield as the Skoda drives by, and where you had deposited the shoes is maybe a few blocks up. But you see the Skoda park on the opposite side of the road, hop out, that you see Bruno hop out, walk across the street to where you put the shoes. You can see that he's got the bag slung over his body. It looks like it's like a satchel. He has his hand partially inside of the satchel, and he gets to where you deposited the shoes, and he looks up and down the street. You can't tell from this distance what he's doing, but he stares at the shoes for what seems to be like maybe 5-10 seconds before he gets back in his car and he drives away. And then Helen says, "You got them all, right?"
Yep. All 4 of them.
Excellent. Give them to me.
Yeah, hand them over.
And she basically will sit on one of these like bucket seats and we'll just start looking at them. And then Marcus just starts the van back up and drives away. And you all head back to the American Embassy. We're going to cut ahead now to a few days from now. We're going to say that your orders came down that you are to be transferred back to the United States. So what that entails is you fly out of West Berlin, have a layover in England, and then you make your way back to Dulles International Airport in Washington, D.C., where your vehicle had been parked in long-term parking, and you head home. What's going through Reed's mind over the next few days, or what's he going to do now that he's back home stateside?
First of all, he is a very pragmatic dude, so the first things that do go through his mind are like, okay, I gotta buy new milk. I gotta, he's just like thinking about what to buy to get his apartment stocked again, because obviously you can't be months overseas and have your apartment running. So I think he likes to keep it very clean, very tidy.
Okay.
That's the thing. He goes out to buy groceries for himself. He basically lives a normal life for a few days, which is for him almost like that sense of being normal is almost a reward for finishing those few months overseas. So yeah, that's just a nice feeling for him.
Yeah, I'd imagine it'd be pretty stressful being in the position that he's been in for pretty much the last several years, being overseas and on and off, sometimes going into the field to plant listening devices, retrieving them, and then sometimes being in Marcus's position, just hanging back and being the listener. But it's around December 10th that you get a call from another phone. It's the phone of the group. And you are told to go to a Hampton Inn in Cambridge, Massachusetts on December 11th for a briefing. It's time to do that kind of work again, Matthew Reed.
I think getting the message, it's very disruptive for his routine because he likes to take the first few days just for him to decompress after such a long thing. But work is work, and as one of his motivations says, he's gonna do a job that no one else can do. So yeah, after getting that message, Matthew Reed prepares everything. Maybe gives a quick notice to the NSA that he will be out handling some family business, which normally shouldn't be a problem then, because after such a long time away undercover, they normally do grant him a few days or even weeks of...
They do grant you some extra time. The one thing that does strike you as being a bit unusual about your summons from the group, you know these things to be a solo affair, but this time you're being told that you're going to be working with 3 other individuals, which does cause you to raise an eyebrow. So, are you going to head up there early, or are you going to leave the next day and then head, what's that look like?
I think after calling or after notifying his boss at the NSA, he thinks about asking one of his bonds if he can expect them to show up, but then after thinking about it twice and all of the compartmentalization that's going on normally, he doesn't. But after all of this, grabbing a go bag, stuffing everything that he thinks he might need in there,
including your MP5.
Oh, abso-fucking-lutely. Disassembled, a bit hidden, but yeah, with his fake FBI personality. He will go there the moment he is done with his preparations.
Does he drive? I think it's like an 8-hour drive, if I remember correctly.
Honestly, if he wants to bring the MP, then yeah, probably.
It's an 8-hour drive from DC to Cambridge. So Reed packs his go bag, throws in the P7, throws in the MP5. I believe it's MP5 SD, right? Did you go full fancy? Fuck yeah. All right. You get together some listening devices of your own that you have. You throw an extra few magazines of P7 ammunition, a few extra magazines of MP5 SD ammunition, and the MP5 SD itself. Who knows how long you're going to be. You do some clothing, and you make your way up to the Hampton Inn address in Cambridge, Massachusetts. It is December 10th, 1989. It is a Sunday. Eddie Vittorio. A lot happened within the last several months. Specifically, back in May, you got shot and somehow lived through the efforts of Dr. Rufus Kimball. A few things occurred over these last several months that altogether don't make a lot of sense. Your wound where you were shot, there's no scar like there should be. This one healed pretty quickly, all things considered. And you discovered this because, when you got back over the last couple months, you and Deanna got together and were trying to get intimate as much as you could be, considering that she is pregnant. There was no scar on your chest. And then the second thing, your perceived electromagnetic sensitivity, it lessened a bit after what you went through at Dr. Kimball's house. It's still there. You still get headaches from time to time, but you can somewhat live a normal life now like you had been. It took some time with Deanna, but the two of you patched things up to a degree. It's still not great, but you're having a kid. So, she's oftentimes more happy than not. And it's just a lazy Sunday afternoon. You two are sitting on the couch. She's got her hand over her belly. You got your arm around her, watching television. Do you say anything at all?
What's on TV?
Saved by the Bell. Her choice.
I don't know anything about Saved by the Bell, man.
It's a TV sitcom set in a high school. She wanted to put it on, some nice light fare. For you, it's just background noise. She's laying there and she looks up at you and says, "It's not going to be too much longer now."
Yeah, it's getting pretty big, huh?
Yeah, doctor said probably another month or so, if you remember.
I put my hand on Deanna's belly.
And she puts her hand over top of yours. Smaller in size than yours is, but it feels nice. This moment of calm and peace, even if there is the dull background of the television on, that's just kind of like white noise at this point. But yeah, you did get your television back. You did create a normal life for yourself. Would you have made up excuses to her?
For the missions?
For how you've been acting?
Well, it's hard to excuse almost killing someone, but she does know I suffer from a lot of previous stress. I'd probably be leaning on that a lot. I'm not sure if I have a good excuse for the electromagnetic sensitivity, aside from I find it a lot more calming to not be surrounded by so much. He tells Deanna that the city's becoming too much for him, which is why he went out hunting by himself on vacation. That's why he went out to Pennsylvania for a few nights. It was to let out the stress with being in the city, and the lights in his apartment on all his electronics were bothering him. He just wanted complete darkness. He wanted to be like he was in the woods.
Like you were in the war to a degree.
Yeah.
She looks back at the TV and doesn't say anything, and she keeps her hand on top of yours while you're both sitting there on the couch watching TV. And then she looks up at you and says, you know, ever since you went and saw that friend of yours back in May, things really have been getting a lot better with you, I feel like. It's great.
Yeah. Rufus really helped me out a lot.
Sounds like a good friend.
He's a kind of weird guy, but he's alright.
Yeah, well, you're kind of a weird guy. And she just slaps her belly a little bit, and she goes to get up, and she says, craving some cereal. Do you want some cereal? I can get you some cereal if you want.
Nah, I'm good. I've been thinking about the name a bit.
Oh, yeah?
But you know, I never talked about my family a lot.
There's a knock on the door, and then an envelope gets slid under the door. You see this as you look over. You see her look back and say, hey, there's an envelope on the floor. Can I get that? You know, I can't bend over and get it.
Yeah. We'll get back to that. Eddie's gonna get up from the couch and walk over.
So you walk over, you pick it up. Inside, you can tell by the plainness of the information listed that you're being called upon again.
I frown. I look back at Deanna to see if she can see it.
No. She's reaching up into the cabinet to get a bowl for herself, and she's deciding which kind of cereal. You have a few different kinds of cereals that she's trying to decide, but the information that is listed on this piece of paper, it says Hampton Inn tomorrow, 3 p.m., and it lists this address of 191 Monsignor O'Brien Highway, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and also says room 203.
Fuck.
Do you say that like under your breath or out loud, or?
I mutter it. I take the envelope and I throw it on the desk next to me.
Okay.
Go back towards Deanna.
Hey, what is that?
Just some emergency orders from work. I gotta meet up with a case in Massachusetts.
Oh, another one of those odd jobs you've been taking on the last couple months?
Yeah, you know, hopefully pays out well. Gonna need the
I
money.
appreciate you doing that, by the way. And she walks over to you with a bowl of cereal in her right hand, and she walks up to you, and she leans up on her toes a little bit, kisses you on the lips, smiles at you, and then walks back around to the couch.
The group might not pay for our work, but I need an excuse for Deanna anyway. I'll go back over to Deanna.
Yeah, she's sitting on the couch.
Hey, did you think of a name?
Rose is a good name, I think.
You think it's gonna be a girl?
I like to think so. Oh, I think it's going to be a boy.
Eddie's trying to think. He's trying to think of the name of his father, but something's blocking him. When he tries to think about it, it's like he's seeing his perspective of when he was a boy, but this person is a void. He's just not there. And it doesn't bother him, but now that he's really thinking about it, he just wonders why.
Yeah. Some things are still fuzzy and unclear for you. You got shot and you healed pretty quickly to a degree that is not normal for that type of recovery. I mean, you've seen people get shot in the jungle and you never saw them again because they had to be taken out of the field, taken home. You recovered really damn quickly. And Dr. Kimball didn't say anything about that.
He is scratching the corners of his mind as hard as he can to try and think of this fucking name.
Yeah, and Deanna snaps her fingers in your face and says, Earth to Eddie. Are you in there? You're thinking really hard about a name, aren't you?
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue.
That's okay. I think it's going to be a girl, and her name's going to be Rose.
I hope you got a backup, because I certainly don't.
We still got some time.
I don't know. Maybe just call him Eddie Jr., right?
Absolutely not, she says.
Well, if you don't figure out something, that's what it's going to be.
She says, that's okay. We still have time. For now, This is the first time in a while that things have felt right. Let's just enjoy this moment, okay?
Wish I didn't have to leave.
Yeah, but you're helping us out, and I really do appreciate it. And you see her, like, take the bowl, and she, like, is about to, like, set it on top of her belly, and then it was like, oh, that doesn't work. So she sets it beside her on the couch. You know, she picks it up occasionally, eats some of the cereal, and you guys continue watching Saved by the Bell. I'm going to say that the rest of the night progresses, and the next day comes. You still have a little bit of Kansas money left over. So you buy yourself another rental vehicle, get yourself a map of the way to Massachusetts, because...
What did I get?
We'll say this time, you end up getting a Ford Crown Victoria.
Hey.
And calling into work, giving the excuses that you give, you know, taking some time off. You've been working pretty hard at your job, seeing as though the electromagnetism had lessened over the last couple of months. You had plenty of time saved up, and you take off and you head to the Hampton Inn in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And we're going to travel a little bit backwards in time to Scott Macallan in Red River, New Mexico. Also on December 10th, 1989, a Sunday morning. What would a typical morning for Scott and Elena be like? Because Scott has been spending more and more time at Elena's house and less at Roger's place, given that their relationship is fractured at this point.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it. What time in the morning? Because the library, being a public library, it's a 7-day operation. And it's recently, finished up its renovations.
It has, yes. Let's say it's about 7 a.m.
Okay. Yeah, so probably at that point, they've just wrapped up eating breakfast. They're probably having their second cup of coffee together. They don't watch as much TV anymore. They still got a television, but Scott has really gotten away from visual media as a whole. Just one of the many little things that's different ever since all those months ago when he came back from Occam the first time.
Right. That's fair. Considering that, you had taken a alcohol-induced walk around the block in Harrisburg, and you may or may not have seen Vince inside of a television set. It could have just been your mind fucking with you, though.
Nah, that wasn't him.
But yeah, staying away from TV seems like a smart idea. So, Elena is making breakfast for you all, including her father, who has joined you all. He's up and about. She pays for the in-home nursing care to come, but they haven't gotten here yet.
How lucid is he at the moment?
He seems pretty lucid this morning.
Okay.
Whether that's a good or a bad thing to Scott, that's,
Yeah, no, he can't help but notice that, like, when he's lucid, he's, he's been giving him the stink eye more and more, but,
Yeah, it's just the aura that Scott gives off lately. Yeah.
The absolutely rancid vibes, yeah.
Yeah, and, there's eggs going, there's bacon, sausage, tater tots, and the phone rings.
Okay.
And Elena looks over at you and says, "Can you get that, Scott?"
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll kind of duck around the corner, take the phone off the receiver.
There's a voice on the other end that you were not expecting.
Dr. Macallan.
Immediately hearing the voice, drops his own voice down. Are you fucking insane calling here?
Yes, but that's a completely other conversation.
A master spy calling up a community residence that has 2 civilians in it. What would you do if someone else picked up the phone, huh? Or do you have someone on the outside looking in the window telling you where I am? But, all that aside, what the hell are you calling here for?
We have a job for you.
Oh, that right.
Write down the following address. Make your travel plans.
Yeah, this is the 80s. He'd keep a notepad by the phone just for things like this.
Yeah, the address he gives you is 191 Monsignor O'Brien Highway, Cambridge, Massachusetts. I imagine you have feelings about that.
Yeah, when he said, like, he gives 191 Monsignor, and then when he says Cambridge, pin scratches for a second. Harvard, huh?
Yes. No one you know. At least I don't believe so.
It's a small, deeply inbred community, academia.
I wouldn't know much about that.
No, you wouldn't, would you?
Oh, I went into the real world and got a real job, Dr. Macallan, but I digress.
When do you need me there?
Tomorrow, December 11th, 3 p.m.
Oh, well, that's gonna be a red-eye flight there.
That's not my problem, Dr. Macallan.
All right. You know, it's funny. We never once asked for reimbursement for this sort of thing. I don't believe you people do anything like that, but I think if I'm gonna get on that flight and I'm gonna go to Harvard like you're telling me to do, there is something I'd expect in return. And I think it's something that could work out for both of us.
State your proposal.
You know better than anyone, academia is a place of breeding radicals of all stripes. Communists, fascists, people dabbling in things they shouldn't be dabbling in. It would be good to have a man on the inside, wouldn't it? Someone to perhaps put out fires before they start.
Perhaps.
Listen, I'll be blunt. What I want you to do is, I know you have the means to pull some strings. I want you to get me a job out of this fucking library, out of this small ass town, and away from, kind of looks over his shoulder, and away from a rotting old man. I'm gonna get myself, and I'm gonna get Elena away from all this, and you're gonna help me. In return, I'll be a little man on the inside.
Well, Dr. Macallan, I don't believe you to be a little man, but I certainly can see what we can do. There are others who are in similar positions. We're not all military and law enforcement or intelligence.
Right. That's the only way you get things done, so.
You guys seem to do pretty well.
Because of me, that's why. You need a brain behind the trigger finger.
Unfortunately, I believe the brain behind your operation is no longer with us. We'll see what we can do, Mr. Macallan.
Hangs up the phone.
That genuinely, when he brought up Vince, that did take the wind out of his sails. Scott quietly hangs up the phone, takes the piece of paper, rips it off the pad, folds it up, puts it in his pocket, and before he rejoins the table, he's just gonna walk to the edge of the doorway and kind of stand there and just stare in. What's Elena and her father doing at this moment?
Elena is still at the stove, but she looks over at you when she hears your footsteps. Doesn't really turn her head to look at you, but cocks her head a little bit and says, "Who was that, babe?" Her father's just staring at you.
That was an old colleague of mine. He works at Harvard University now.
Oh, yeah? And you got another in there, potentially?
Yeah, he, well, maybe not there, but definitely he needs my eye on something, and it's not something he can just fax over to the library. I gotta head back over to Massachusetts. I'm gonna need to get on the road. Now.
Now?
Yes.
But the days... I mean, we did hire that new guy recently. Maybe he could fill in for you.
Well, he's gonna have to. And, well, Roger can blow it out his ass if we don't like it.
Trevor's eyes, Elena's father, they narrow when you say that, and his lips purse a little bit, but he still doesn't say anything.
Scott kind of turns his eyes to him, and he's gonna walk over to where Elena is at the stove and put his arm over her shoulder and kind of pull her in, and he's gonna whisper in her ear, "When I get back, we have a lot to talk about, Elena."
Okay. Everything's okay, right?
No. Things have not been okay for a very long time. But I think I can fix that.
It's not something I've done, right?
No, you've been the one bright spot in this deep shit pile that we've been in.
She smiles, but it doesn't contain the usual luster that you're used to.
I mean, she's tired. She has every right to be tired. Scott knows it's been a hard few months on her, too. It makes him feel bad, but only because that makes her, that luster being there is part of the thing he likes most about her. And when that's gone, well, that makes him unhappy. And he's gonna pull her in, kiss her kind of on the side of her head. "I love you. Don't forget that, okay?
I love you too, babe.
When I get back, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be better. Trust me. There are things that there are secrets that I've been keeping from you, and I apologize for that, but when I get back, I'll tell you everything. You'll know everything. Okay?"
Okay. I trust you.
I know you do. Trevor, it's good to see you up and around. Hopefully you feel better these next coming days.
I am feeling pretty good today.
Yeah, I know the early nights have been harder on you. Just keep taking that magnesium, Trevor.
Yeah, of
You
course.
do better on it.
That's what the nurse says, and he gives like a weak little smile, and for whatever reason, he just winces. Do you leave right now, or do you have time to sit down and eat?
He's gonna like kind of get a plate to go. He'll finish his coffee and then get the fancy Tupperware Elena has, state of the art Tupperware.
Yeah, no, that's fine. She gives you a fork as well. I imagine you're probably gonna eat this on the road.
Yeah,
Just be careful, okay?
I will. And I'm gonna do a quick willpower check on Scott because he said he's gonna tell her the secrets when he gets back. More than anything, he needs understanding. And how much does he trust himself that she will understand him?
Holy shit. That could be really good or really bad.
That was a critical success, 33 under 60 for a self-driven willpower roll. And yeah, as he is plating up, or I should say putting away the food in the Tupperware, he tells her, "You go to Roger's place in the basement where I'm keeping my stuff. There's a small leather-bound book in there. It's called Horseback Jack. I need you to read that. I'm telling you to read that well."
She looks confused, and then her eyes go a little bit wide, and she says, "What are you talking about?"
It will help you understand what I've been doing all this time. When I went to see my dead aunt in Massachusetts, when I was last at Occam, what I'm doing now...
Are you saying this quietly to her?
Oh, like, whispering in... I'm
I just gotta make sure, man,
kind of pulling her in close.
Her father's still there.
I'm sure Trevor is glaring daggers in the back of his head, and he is aware of his presence. Now, granted, Scott's also the kind of arrogant bastard to consider, even in his most lucid days, Trevor's 2 steps from a vegetable, so...
What the fuck?
You just kind of glance over your shoulder just to look at her dad while you're saying this, and a far-off look does appear in his eyes. He's not going to remember anything.
Of course he isn't. And once she understands better, maybe she'll be a little less reticent about putting him away where he belongs.
She says to you, after you mention, "This is what I've been doing and you'll understand," she says to you, "I want to be together when I look at this."
We will be. Trust me. Everything I've done, every secret I kept from you, it was only to protect you, Elena. I've done this out of nothing but love for you. But things are changing, the world is changing. You'll need to know the truth.
She takes a deep breath, sighs, and looks at you and says, "I'm going to trust you. It sounds a little strange, but I'm going to trust you. Now, if you really need to get to Massachusetts, go."
Yeah, he, pulls her, and this time for like a full proper kiss.
She kisses you back. And you head out the door to get into your vehicle. You do need to get some things from Roger's place. We're just going to say you pack that .357 snub-nose revolver, your camera, change of clothes.
Yeah, nice suit.
And with the address in hand...
Oh shit! I forgot to tell her about the photograph. Oh well, I'm sure she'll find it.
The blurred, well, it's not blurred anymore, but the picture of Vince.
No, the dead body of. Well, the picture of Vince.
Oh, the Dixon thing.
That's easy enough
That's
to
a
explain.
good
I'm talking
point.
about
Yeah, you still have that as well.
The dead body of goddamn Dixon. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal. Yeah, so you get a flight from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Cambridge, Massachusetts, and we are going to cut ahead now to the next day, to December 11th. I want both Scott and Eddie to roll me luck, please, to see who gets there first.
Ooh.
15 under 50.
86 over 100.
What? Say that again?
86 86 over 50.
Scott, it's a familiar feeling being back in Boston and Cambridge. Cambridge is just a smaller subsection of Boston, really. But it's strange being back after having been away so long. And Scott, you knock on the door, and the door opens to reveal Well, Lukas, describe yourself. Describe Matthew Reed for us.
The door opens, and in front of you stands a relatively average-looking dude, I'd say. He has like short brown hair. He has a mustache and a little bit of growth under the lip. He's like almost exactly 6 foot tall. He's not super muscular, but he's also not super skinny. He's like completely in between those. He currently is wearing a, I think just like some normal... What the fuck would you wear in those times? Would it just be a jeans or...
Well, in your terms, it's about... We're going to go with what it was last time, like -3 degrees outside. It's really cold. I forgot to mention that.
Okay.
Like corduroy pants or something.
Yeah, it's probably, slacks.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's indoor currently, so he's not wearing an overcoat. What he is wearing are those... I really don't know how to describe them, but they're like sweaters, but they have like some rectangulars on them that line up all the way.
Yeah.
A cardigan.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like wearing one of those really ugly dad cardigans, or that like your uncle wears to Christmas dinner or something like that. You see that he has a shoulder holster. You can just see like one half of it because he's standing a bit with the door covering half of his body, so you don't see if there's a gun in it. And yeah, he just looks at you, nods, and
Eddie, at this moment, you walk into the hall, and you see Scott standing in the door of where you need to go.
Oh,
Yeah, and Scott is...
Hey.
Well, I
Scott.
snap my head back to Eddie and just immediately finger to my lips. And I haven't drawn my gun, but my hand is definitely back towards the small of my back. And who are you?
So, as you say that, and as Eddie approaches, a familiar voice from inside the bedroom, from a man sitting on the bed, speaks up.
Oh, hey, soldier boy. Hey, glasses. How you doing?
So, Reed, this man who had introduced himself to you as Harley Haney, he's been here for about 5 minutes. He just had enough time to introduce himself. And Reed, you had told him that there were others coming and to wait. And then they have come. So now we are all here now. So Scott and Eddie, upon hearing that familiar voice...
Yeah.
May I wanted to say something.
Oh, yeah,
before.
go ahead.
May I do
Yes.
that now? Well, still standing with like the door just halfway opened, the man who has not yet introduced himself turns around to Haney and says, "Rest of the team, I suppose?"
Yeah, appears like it.
And nods and just completely opens the door.
Eddie's eye is just twitching, and he's gonna walk
Yeah,
in.
Haney, Stretch isn't here. You were kind of hoping he would
Yeah,
be.
and Pretty Boy isn't either. Yeah, he's gonna look to Scott, say, "Where's the big one and the pretty boy, handsome one?"
Kimball, I got no idea. Vince is dead.
Reed, any reaction to that?
Let's maybe talk about this when the door is closed, gentlemen.
Yeah, good idea, good idea.
When you mention Vince being dead, Eddie's just gonna be silent and look to the side. He feels a lot of guilt for that.
Yeah, it still lingers heavy on your mind, even more than a year later at this point.
Using that little bit of silence, Reed then closes the door, leaning his back against it. You can all now see that when he is like not halfway hidden from the door, in his shoulder holster, he carries a Heckler & Koch P7. And yeah, he leans on the door, using the little bit of silence, and says, "Suppose all of you know each other already? Well,
Yeah.
then I am the new guy, Matthew Reed. Pleasure to meet all of you."
Eddie, nice to meet you.
Scott.
And I'm Harley, but we all already know that, so...
He just nods.
It's at this point the telephone in the hotel room rings. It's 3 p.m. Would Reed have a watch?
Oh, absolutely.
You check your watch and it's 3 p.m. Who wants to answer the phone?
Come on, Haney. We all know you wanna.
Yeah, Haney's sitting on the bed right next to the phone. He'll pick that shit up.
Eddie's gonna take a seat on
Yeah,
the
what's
couch.
everybody doing positionally in the room? With did everybody like bring any of their gear with them from their rental vehicles?
Scott he'll just keep standing and like stand in the corner of the room so he can keep an eye on everyone.
Yeah, and Harley, you pick up the phone and it's a voice that you are quite familiar with on the other end. It is the voice of the man who refers to himself as Carradine.
Yellow?
Mr. Haney,
Carradine.
do you have a speakerphone in the room?
It does.
Yeah, he does the old man thing of like, I'm sure I can figure it out somehow. And then clicks it on. Alright, you're on speaker.
Alright. This line is secure. Good afternoon, everyone.
Well, he said good afternoon, everyone, and I'm just like, what the hell do you even say to that? Scott's gonna say from the corner of the room, probably somewhat faint over the phone, but just like, cut the bullshit, Carradine, tell us why we're here.
Dr. Macallan, could you go into the fridge and pull out the manila folder in the top shelf?
Yeah, Scott will walk across the room to the mini fridge, pull it open, grab the manila folder. He's also gonna grab that mini bottle of vodka and shut the fridge. And, alright, envelope in hand, what's in it?
Go ahead and open it.
There's a picture inside that Max will describe.
Like, so with one hand, kind of runs his left hand over the top of the envelope, thumbs it open, and dumps the contents on one of the beds. Right hand, single-handed motion, well practiced, cracks open the mini bottle and just chugs it.
So, laid out before you is a picture of a woman. She looks to be in her early to mid 40s. She has shoulder-length brown hair, some laugh lines around her eyes, bright smile. It's an ID card picture. And the name says Dr. Laura Clark, and it mentions, and it says Harvard University, associate professor. And it also lists her department, which says Language Department, Classical European Studies, as well as a piece of paper that lists an address, 802 Memorial Drive, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Charles Apartments. And as well as, you'll find this out later, but I'm just going to give the picture to you now. What looks to be a colorized photo of a series of triple-decker apartments. So like right where that black circle is, there's like 3 triple-decker apartments.
Yeah, Scott's intimately familiar with buildings like that.
This is Dr. Laura Clark, PhD. She's a language specialist who has worked with the group in the past. However, she has not been fully read in. Do your best to keep it that way. 24 hours ago, she missed a regular phone call to my superior in the group, which has raised several red flags based on what she was currently working on and her skills. My boss is adamant that not even being sick has kept her from calling in. You are tasked with the following. Go to her apartment, do a wellness check. If she's okay, you are all cleared to go home. However, if she is not there or injured, respond appropriately to the issue. If it appears as though there is a bad actor involved, determine the level of exposure and how much information has been given to the possible bad actor. My boss specifically asked for you all. He probably believes that something bad is up. You have a good reputation for solid put-downs on these issues, so I wish you luck. Any questions?
None from me.
Anything you could tell us about the stuff she worked with?
I cannot reveal that information, unfortunately. I don't even know what she's worked on.
Do you know her usual schedule? Time she leaves her house?
I personally was not assigned to be her case officer, if you will. I will look into it for you and see what I can get you.
All right.
Speaking of that, I need you all to write down a series of phone numbers. Mr. Vittorio, this is going to be very familiar to you.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And he rattles off a series of phone numbers. There's about 5 of them to basically rotate between.
Call them in succession every 5 minutes if I don't pick up.
Anybody got any questions?
Nah, not really. You guys have anything?
Nope.
So, without any other questions being sensed, Carradine says,
Good luck. Hopefully she's okay. Report with any updates.
and Haney, you're still holding the phone.
Because Haney would probably say something. Alright, bye.